Yo, what's going on? It's your boy King J, and today we have got to give a proper introduction. We have Red Bull Gaming, Red Bull player, CUDDLE CORE, but not just any CUDDLE CORE. We've got winning tournaments, runner up in loads of Tekken tournaments, and a part of also CLG. Do I have to keep going on? All right, that's the introduction done. Listen, CUDDLE CORE, thank you very much for coming on. Really, really appreciate you, and it's always good hanging out and talking with you. Today we're going to talk about Tekken 8, LING XIAOYU. How do you feel about the character?
Yeah, so thank you for having me today, Jay. I know we've had a few conversations in the past, and Tekken 8 on the horizon. We gotta talk about LING XIAOYU, right? We gotta talk about her. So how do I feel? I was excited. I had been waiting. You know how many trailers we had gone through? And I'm like, okay, it's cool, but where's my characters? Where's my babies? I'm waiting, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And so then I'm sleeping, right? I sleep till like noon one day recently. My phone is blowing up. It is going off. I'm talking notifications everywhere. Discord, Twitter, text, like, oh my god, you gotta check Twitter. You gotta look at the Tekken Twitter. And then she's back. And I'm like, what is going on? And then, it's like Christmas, Jay. It's like Christmas. And I'm like, oh, she's back. And I'm so happy. Like, you know how you kind of know that your main is gonna make it, but you kind of aren't sure until that trailer confirmed everything. She looks amazing. Oh my god.
Yeah. You know what's crazy about it? I always knew she was going to come back because she's just like one of those characters that when you think about Tekken, she's kind of, from Tekken 3, she's solid chance that's going to be in the game. And yeah, just looking at her and just the way how she is, like she looks like she's matured in the face and even just the clothing and everything now. She just feels like such a, like, I'm not a LING XIAOYU player, but I can appreciate her coming back and the changes that she has. So, seeing as we're onto the changes, I noticed that her throw was more like Wang's throw now. It's not like you can escape it now. How do you feel about that?
I laughed because I figured they were going to give her something from her grandfather. I believe that's her grandfather. I could be wrong. Pretty sure.
I think it's either master or something. I don't know the full lore. Yeah.
But they're connected, right? Obviously, they're totally connected.
The rage art is said Wang something. I can't remember what it is. The rage art is named after Wang. But
so see, they're totally connected then, and I think she said something like grandpa. Either way, it was in one of the movies. But either way, yes. So I like that it makes her more of a threat, because her throws in 7 and in general, you can break them, and even the So Shumi, the forward 2+3, the So Shumi, you literally can like press, I think it's like an attack button, or you press down, so you don't get that combo that's guaranteed if you don't press anything.
Yeah.
But this is different. If you don't break that initial throw, you get damage. Like, I don't know how much of a combo you get, but you get something. You get a lot. You must get something. And Wang's was a mess before. This is no different. So I think it helps her throw game. I think it could even help her Oki. I think it's gonna be kind of cheap, but if people know how to break throws, they shouldn't have to worry about it. But I don't even know the frame, like I said, an 11 frame throw, like how quick is it gonna be? So that even matters too. So I can see a lot of people. It's gonna be cheap. It's gonna be cheap for a little bit.
No,
if you're not freaking, like, yeah.
Definitely. What do you think about Tekken 8 so far? So, like, I know we spoke about Ling. I just want to kind of segue away from Ling and just know your general thoughts about the game. You know, recoverable health, heat mode. All of these type of things, like Ray Health now is in the game, and it's like Rage Drives are now not in the game, they're discontinued, but then Rage Arts, when you block them, they're -13. Like, what's your thoughts about the game overall?
Yeah, so because we only have so much information, I feel like right now, the way I feel about the game is I love how beautiful it looks. I love the designs of all the characters. It's like they were built from the ground up for this game. But also that I like that power crushes are still there. I love power crushes. I've been a huge fan of them for as long as they've been around in 7. Definitely been able to utilize them well, and I'm glad that they're not gone. I think they're a great defensive tool. But I do feel like the gray damage, like that chip damage, also as well, and regenerated health, and it's weird to me. I'm not even gonna sit here in front. I think it's weird. It's really weird. This is a 3D fight, and this is Tekken. Tekken has never been known for that, and I think sometimes, the community needs a little bit of time to adjust to something like that, because regardless of 8, 9, 10, 11, I'm gonna play it. But my God, I thought 7 was kind of different. But no, this is the most different Tekken I've ever played. Like this, it's gonna be chip damage. That we don't have things like that. When you think about chip damage, a lot of the time you think 2D.
Yeah.
And it's such a huge change, and it's asking for a lot from the community. But you know what? Like we adjusted to 7, we'll adjust to 8, because at the core it's still Tekken. But even when I saw like the heat system, like the people spinning heat and things like that, it reminded me of Soul Charge from Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
And I was like, I saw some feedback with that where they didn't like Soul Charge.
Yeah.
And they said it was a little too much. And I'm hoping that Tekken isn't the same. I hope that they balance it over time. But I think overall, I really love what I'm seeing so far. I love the graphics. I love the characters. I love their designs. I love the moves. I love that they're being super innovative and creative, and they're kind of changing the mechanics. And this will also bring in another fan base, a bigger fan base, I think. And it will help, I think, newer players get into the game and increase the popularity of Tekken. Because it was still so infamously hard. So I think this helps, but I definitely think it's going to be a huge adjustment. But we are fighting game players. We adjust and adapt to everything. And I'm excited for the creative possibilities with using the heat system, with my characters, and learning how to defend against certain things. It's a new game. We've had this game for 7 years. I invite change. I personally am ready.
Listen, I just want to say that was amazing, because there's a lot of people in gaming that, well, especially in Tekken, that don't express how they really feel about certain things, and they want to like just say what kind of makes everyone else happy. And you just said exactly what I think a lot of people are kind of worrying about when it comes to like chip damage. We've seen that Jun can do a lot of chip damage, and then she loses health, but then she recovers. It's kind of like a double-edged sword character, and it's like this feels like a bit like a 2D fighting game rather than a 3D fighting game. And it feels like we're hearing King's backdash is not good. It's very, and even backdash in general is heavy. So I invite change too. I think change is amazing. I know it took me a while to understand what heat mode was, because there's like 4 different versions. You can do heat engage and heat smash, heat dash, and I was just like, whoa, I don't know what's going on here.
We've never had something like that, right? Even at the final, I told my friends, I said, I know they didn't just have me sit here for a 30-minute PowerPoint presentation on some new mechanics when I know that this game is gonna drop probably like maybe next year, and I could just learn it that way. How am I gonna retain all this? So I feel you, because when you just said, I said, good and well, that's 4 of them, and I barely knew that. There's 4 of them? That's all I can do. There's 4? Like, is this too much? It's too much information to retain. And I honestly think one of the best ways to adapt to all of it is to get your hands on it.
Definitely.
Because, like, come on. Like, we had already gone through tons of fights in the final, and then they want to pull out a PowerPoint presentation. I said, I respect this, but I personally am not going to remember any of this. I was getting sleepy. That's a lot. You know what I mean? And change is great, but man, was there a lot to take in. It's a little overwhelming, I personally feel.
No, definitely 35 minutes, because like when I was sitting there, it's 35 minutes, and I was like, even now, like up until this day, like I still know there's like, I know 3 out of 4 of them when it comes to the heat mode. I still don't really understand how it fully works properly. I don't know if the one that you cancel, I don't know how much bars you get. It's still a bit like of a gray area to me. I'm still trying to understand it and stuff. And again, like the best way to understand a mechanic in most games is to play them, so you can actually understand how get hands on and be like, oh, so this is how this works, and if this works this way, then I can do these things. But watching 35 minutes and you're sitting down, you've gone through a ton of matches, then you got 35 minutes, and then you go through the finals. It's like, it's too much. But it was nice to see the game, and again, it's nice to see that people have got their hands on it. What I know if I said what character do you want to see back, everyone will know. So we're gonna try and spice it up a little bit.
Okay.
What 2 characters would you like to see come back from Tekken 7, and what 2 characters would you not want to see come back, and why?
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the ones I don't want to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't.
And we can't include 2Ds either, because we kind of know 2Ds are not coming back. It has to be Tekken characters.
Okay, I got you. Which I can kind of assume that they're probably not going to. But one of them is Gigas. It's not that I don't like him. I just think that Jack and Marduk do his job way better than him. And it's like they didn't know that they were going to bring those characters back, so they just had Gigas as this middle ground. There's no point to have him if Marduk and Jack could, well, Marduk now, sorry, could be in the game, and Jack's already in there. It's like, he doesn't need to be in there. No, Gigas does not matter. And I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this one, but Katarina, she's not interesting enough. I like her fighting style, but she's not... I don't think her personality has a lot going on. And I think they maybe kind of redesigned her from the ground up for 8. Could totally work, but she's kind of like a vanilla wafer with a lot of great damage and a really cool style. And I don't think there's really a place for her if they don't actually fix something, like more interesting. She needs to be more interesting. That's what I think. So the characters that I think, I would like to see come back from Tekken 7 specifically, right?
Yep.
I just always love seeing this character. Don't see him enough. Miguel, I like Miguel. He's a specialist character, but you barely see him. But he would look so cool in 8's design. I really like the stances, the damage, but it's so underused. But I know if somebody gets their hands on him, it's gonna be nasty. Seth glaciating. It's gonna be great. I feel like you have to have him in the game. I also think Bob. I love Bob. I think he's dope. I think he's a Mishima, but he's a little more, in your face sometimes. But I feel like Bob is one of those characters, yet again, where you don't see him all the time. But in a game like Tekken 8, maybe they can have a bit more screen time because the system might benefit them or help them out. So I think maybe the heat system could help a lot of characters that we didn't see before. So
definitely,
those 2 I think would be really cool.
Definitely. We all know that you want to see Alyssa come back, right?
Oh, obviously, which I know she is. I feel it. I know it. I know she will. Nice. All right, well, when the Alyssa trailer comes out, we could definitely, hopefully do this again, because I think this is, it's fun to hang out and just even talk about Tekken 8. I'm excited for it. I know you're excited for the game, and I know everyone watching this here, I know you lot are excited as well. So yeah, let them know where they can find your socials, because I know obviously you're still doing the competing. Again, shout out to Red Bull and CLG as well for sponsoring you, because again, I think you're an amazing player, and as your Twitch ambassador as well, like I am as well. That you just got so many accolades that's coming through, and again, it's so amazing to have someone like you in the gaming field, industry, whatever you want to call it. So how can people find you? Well, you all can find me at CUDDLE_CORE on Twitter, CUDDLE_CORE on Twitch, and TK, like Tekken, _CUDDLE on Instagram. That's where you can find me. That's where I am. It's usually where I am on the social channels, but also for COG content. I make content with them, and we do a lot of great things. They're super creative ideas. You could just follow us at COG FGC on YouTube. They have some great videos coming out, so if you are interested, you can just tune in and watch us there too.
Awesome. Thank you lot very much for watching. Go check out CUDDLE CORE's stuff. Check out tournament runs. I know she's gonna be doing a lot of those in the future, especially with Tekken 8 as well. If you lot like the channel and you lot like what was going on with this video and you lot want to see more, comment section down below. Let me know if you lot want to see more. I'll do more of these as the character reveals are coming. And yeah, this will be the end of the video. Take it easy, everyone. Peace.